Tonight, Troy students return to campus to start off the spring semester.
Plus, ice skating on campus. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for January 12, 2012. I'm Judson Garner.
And I'm Bailey Majors. Thank you for joining us this evening. Well, it's a new year, and as the Troy University students return to the grind of classes, projects, and assignments, Courtney Still talked with a few to see how they felt about the new semester.
After having nearly a month off for Christmas break, Troy University students returned to campus to finish out the school year. Bringing in a new year and starting a new semester provides students with mixed emotions. However, they are generally anticipating the fresh start.
I'm really excited. It's my senior year and it's like getting down to the line, so it's like really exciting. It's like that new burst of energy that you had coming in your freshman year. You have it all over again.
It's kind of slow right now, but I think it's going to pick up a couple weeks.
It feels right, to be back in Troy.
Although some students are excited about returning to Troy, others say it's a little bit harder to make the transition in comparison to the fall semester.
It's a little different. In the fall, you're ready for school, you're prepared for it, you're kind of looking forward to it. And then the spring, it's kind of like you had a refresh of missing your family, and then now it's like you had to adjust back into the school routine.
For one thing, it's colder. You see a lot of new faces, people that you haven't seen before. You see who don't come back and who do come back. And then a lot of new organizations are on campus as well.
There are some things that students are looking forward to. However, there are other things that they'd rather do without.
Making it here for 8 o'clock class is going to be the worst, probably.
Finals.
Papers.
I'm looking forward to meeting new people, seeing old friends, learning, of course.
This is my last year to be able to rodeo for the university, so I really look forward to really exceeding in that and doing really well to represent.
Probably just looking forward to some of the UAC events and just class in general.
Students say they want to make the most of this semester, and they share their goals of how they're going to achieve just that.
Have a high GPA.
To be more confident, to work harder.
Get straight A's. I want like a 4.0 this semester.
I'm doing a whole eating healthy kick to make myself feel better, so I have a burst of energy to really not lag in my classes.
Courtney Still, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Even though students just got back to school, they don't have to wait long before they get another break. Students will not have class on Monday, January 16th in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
4 Troy University online programs have been recognized in the U.S. News and World Report's top online education program rankings. Troy's online bachelor's degree and grad programs in education, business, and nursing all made the list. Troy received top 5 ranks in 4 categories, including a 3rd and 5th place rank for student engagement and assessment and student services in technology in the bachelor's program, and 3rd and 5th place rankings for student engagement and accreditation in the graduate education and nursing program, respectively. Newly appointed Vice Chancellor of Global Campus Lance Tatum on what this means to the university.
Obviously, it shows that there's a level of recognition and quality affiliated with our online programs. I think it's a great testament to what Troy University is doing with its online environment. I think it shows the commitment we have back to the quality of the education that we provide, as well as the faculty that teach in that program.
This was the first year U.S. News and World Report compiled a list to rank online education programs. Well, Bailey, Wednesday was the first day of spring semester, and it might have been a little hectic.
That's right, Judson, but the University Activities Council gave students to have some fun on ice. Derica James has the story.
The University Activities Council held their first event of the spring semester Wednesday night, giving Troy the opportunity to skate on ice. Well, maybe it wasn't real ice, but it was in demand to bring to Troy.
Well, we had this event a couple years ago in 2009, and it was a big success. All the students loved it, and it was something new and interesting, something fresh. It got a lot of great talk about it when we asked students around campus what they thought about it.
Hyman says that the turnout of students was enough to have fun, but not too many where students could still move around giving them the chance to show off their ice skating moves.
I like to try to like spin around, you know, but I have to go like really fast to do that. But I fall down a lot when I try to do that too. But that's a lot of fun to try to like spin, kind of like the guys have been trying to do, is like spin and like go really fast and like stop on the side like with your foot. It's really awesome to try to do stuff like that.
If students were not able to come out Wednesday night, they may have another chance this semester to experience the No Ice Rink.
It will be the last time for the University Activities Council to host it. However, there are rumors that another organization on campus will bring it here for the university's 125th birthday celebration.
Derek James, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The next UAC event will be Dollar Movie Night on Wednesday.
And now taking a look at news from around the state, the former superintendent of Shelby County Schools says she strongly recommended firing Dan Acker from his teaching job after he was accused of molesting an 11-year-old student in 1991. But Norma Rogers tells the Birmingham News that school board members voted unanimously to put him back in the classroom. Rogers says the board voted to let him stay over her objections.
Federal and state prosecutors and law enforcement officials in Alabama promised to work together to fight human trafficking. State Attorney General Luther Strange and U.S. Attorney George Beck in the Middle District of Alabama said today they were working together to expose an ugly crime that often goes undetected.
A Montevallo couple is creating a support group in hopes of preventing suicide in their community. Bob Shearer says that he and his wife Joyce almost lost their son 2 years ago after a suicide attempt. He says the family attended a suicide support group once a week, and now he wants to help others get the support they did through the group.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, students may have had a break, but Trojan sports have still been in action. Danielle Percival will be in with all the details on the Trojans basketball teams next in sports.
Plus, there may be something extra in your orange juice that you might not want. We'll tell you what that is after the break.
The FDA temporarily bans orange juice imported from foreign countries. I'm Alexis Christoforous. I'll tell you why coming up.
Over the course of time, Troy has consistently turned out quality graduates.
We're trying to develop future leaders.
If it had not been for Troy University, I would have never had the honor of being the Alabama Teacher of the Year.
We want to educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, the body to act. And we do that within the framework of one real university.
Troy University, in class, online, within reach. Troy.edu.
Massive earthquake has rocked the city. Worst natural disaster this region has ever witnessed.
When a disaster strikes, time is a killer. The UN Central Emergency Response Fund jumpstarts relief efforts, which saves lives. Help us help in time. Donate now at rapiddisasterrelief.org.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's going on across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Judson over at the Global News Desk. Judson?
Thanks, Bailey. Just a few months ago, there was a scare about dangerous chemicals in apple juice. Now there's a problem with orange juice. Alexis Christoforous has a story.
It was Coca-Cola that blew the whistle. The company alerted the Food and Drug Administration that it found a banned fungicide in both its own orange juice brands and its competitors.
It makes me not want to drink orange juice for a little while until things get sorted out.
The chemical is banned in the U.S., but Brazilian farmers use it to kill fungus, and their juice goes into brands sold in the U.S. The FDA says the levels of fungicide reported so far are not a safety concern, so they have not issued a recall.
If they force a recall for something that they don't consider that is safety related, there's a huge amount of economic disruption. Who's going to pay for all those products that get pulled from the market?
For consumers who want to avoid imported orange juice, there is a way to check. Federal law requires that all cartons contain a label that says where the juice comes from. While inspectors continue testing products, the U.S. has temporarily banned orange juice from foreign countries.
Things like this is always a scare. You just have to be aware of what's going on.
Just a couple of months ago, studies turned up arsenic and lead in samples of apple juice, leading safety experts to call for stricter standards and better enforcement.
We should be able to drink these products and eat these foods and be confident that their safety is fine.
The squeeze on imports also means a smaller juice supply and higher prices. Alexis Christoforous, CBS News, New York.
The Republican presidential candidates are campaigning in South Carolina today ahead of the state's primary next week. Mitt Romney has a big lead in the polls, and his rivals are searching for ways to slow down his momentum. Tara Mergener has the latest from Washington, D.C.
Hundreds of supporters greeted Mitt Romney with cheers in West Palm Beach, Florida. Romney is the favorite to win South Carolina's primary next week. He wants to carry that momentum into Florida's primary 10 days later.
And we are going to see the change we're looking for, and it's not Barack Obama. I believe it's going to be Mitt Romney.
With 2 victories already behind him, Romney is focusing his attacks on President Obama. But his GOP rivals are targeting him.
I like being able to fire people who provide services to me.
Newt Gingrich's campaign released a video highlighting Romney's verbal missteps. John Huntsman told his supporters those moments should cost Romney the nomination.
When you have a candidate who talks about enjoyment in firing people, that makes you pretty much unelectable.
But not all the talk is negative. Gingrich appeared on the steps of the state capitol to present himself as the candidate who can solve the housing crisis.
If you're willing to work and you're willing to learn, you too can have a chance to be a property owner, and you too can be a citizen of America.
The candidates will have one more chance to face off in a debate on Monday. Bigad Shabam, CBS News.
U.S. and Afghan leaders are condemning a disturbing video that appears to show Marines desecrating the bodies of Taliban fighters. Tara Mergener has the latest from Washington, where military leaders are promising a full investigation.
The 40-second video posted on YouTube appears to show 4 Marines urinating on 3 dead bodies, presumably Taliban fighters. The men seem to know they're being recorded. The video has the U.S. doing damage control.
Anyone found to have participated or known about it, having engaged in such conduct, must be held fully accountable.
Defense Secretary Leon Panetta released a statement saying, "I have seen the footage and I find the behavior depicted in it utterly deplorable." Panetta has ordered a full investigation, and he called Afghan President Hamid Karzai to convey his disgust. Karzai says the video is completely inhumane. And on a website that posts statements from the Taliban, the group called on the United Nations to stop what it calls the barbaric acts of the American soldiers that go against all human norms. The U.S. military is trying to avoid another scandal like Abu Ghraib. American soldiers were captured in photos demeaning Iraqi prisoners. The video comes at a tough time in U.S.-Afghan relations, already strained with American forces now in Afghanistan for 10 years. Commanders believe they've identified those involved and say the Marines are no longer serving in Afghanistan. 2 of the 4 were based in North Carolina. All could face court-martials for violating military rules that forbid photographing human casualties. Tara Mergener for CBS News, the White House.
And that wraps things up for us here at the Global News Desk. Now back to you, Bailey.
Thank you, Judson. And now Danielle Percival will join us for a look at sports. So Danielle, students might have had a few weeks off, but Trojan athletics have still been in session.
Well, that's right. I don't know about you, Bailey, but I definitely enjoyed my time off getting to rest and relax. The Trojan basketball team's not quite as lucky. They were still in action, so we'll get into that right now. Like I was saying, most Troy students were relaxing and enjoying their Christmas break, but the Trojan men's basketball team was hitting the hard court, moving out of non-conference action and into the Sun Belt slate. Their last game came against Western Kentucky, and senior Tim Owens banked the game-winning shot with only seconds left on the clock. It was their first ever win at Western Kentucky, and head coach Don Maestri says a game like that can help build confidence.
I think it adds a little bit. We haven't won enough games in a row to say we're a real confident team, but there's no doubt that winning that game has helped us in that area.
The The team will be hitting the court in Sartain Arena this Saturday as they take on South Alabama. The game is scheduled to be televised by CSS, and tip-off is set for 8 o'clock. And the women's team has also moved into conference play now, but hasn't been able to pick up a win yet. They did have a close match with Middle Tennessee that took overtime to declare a winner. The Trojans are coming off a road loss to Western Kentucky, but will be returning home this weekend. And head coach Mike Murphy says the overtime game against MTSU did give his team some confidence.
Tennessee has been the class of this league for a long time, and it's really been a struggle for us, and not just for us, but for everybody else in the league to compete against them. And for us to be up at the half by 8 was significant, and then to have a chance to win it in regulation and obviously send it into overtime, it was a huge moral victory.
The women will also be taking on South Alabama this weekend at home. Their game will be prior to the men's game on Saturday, with tip-off set for 5:15. Of course, many people who follow sports know basketball is in action, but how about college tennis? Well, they haven't started just yet, but both the men's and women's tennis teams will be in action over the 3-day weekend, kicking off their seasons. This will be the first time the teams have been in action in quite some time, but head coach Eric Hayes says his teams will be prepared.
Everyone in college tennis starts pretty early, and these are indoor matches, so it's been raining here and we haven't been able to hit a lot, but it's also a good time to knock people off because, a lot of players just go home and don't practice as much. I'm praying ours did because we only have a week to get ready. And, we're just going to go battle and try to come away with some wins.
The women play Saturday against Kansas State at 3 and Sunday against Georgia at 1. Both matches will be played in Athens, Georgia, and the men play Monday at 4 against Florida State. And we couldn't let the day pass by without mentioning a major part of Trojan sports history. The day Troy hit the NCAA record books with a feat that isn't likely to ever be eclipsed. I'm talking about the famous 258 game against DeVry. Today marks the 20th anniversary that Troy broke the record for the most points scored in the history of college basketball. On January 12, 1992, Don Maestri and the Troy State Trojans made national headlines, scoring 258 points against DeVry in a matchup played in Sartain Hall. Head coach Don Maestri says he recalls a few of the places where Troy State was given the spotlight.
A mine who I work with in New Orleans, he called me from Hawaii. He was on the front page of their sports page. A guy where Richard Nixon lived in San Clemente, California, called me. We had all kind of radio and TV shows calling in and asking questions about the game. But it was not a great basketball game. It wasn't a significant game. The games that are significant are when you're playing for a conference championship or to go to the NCAA tournament or the NIT tournament, cutting nets down. Those games are the important ones.
And as Coach Maestri was saying, this may not have been as significant a matchup as some, but it's definitely probably one of the most memorable ones. It was actually before my time, but it's definitely a memory for Trojan fans to hold on to, and the Trojans will probably hold on to that record for a while as well.
Absolutely, we sure hope so. Thank you, Danielle.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, we'll meet a Troy University employee who's become a fantasy fiction author.
Plus, it's been chilly and cloudy the past few days, but can we expect rain in the forecast? Bree?
Well, we have been experiencing some light rain lately, but there could be a change coming up this weekend. I'll have more on weather.
Be out there! Be out there! Be out there!
Time was, kids did what came naturally. Spending free time running barefoot through the grass, wading knee-deep in streams, climbing to the tallest branch. But today, American kids are more likely found texting, watching TV, or gazing at a computer screen. They spend more than 7 hours in front of electronic media. Something essential has been lost: childhood's connection to the natural world. That's why National Wildlife Federation created the Be Out There movement. Kids move indoors causes a host of problems, from obesity to ADHD. But outdoor play can go a long way to improving kids' health, body, mind, and spirit. It helps them stay fit, enhances creativity and attention spans, and could even make them better students. Do your part. Be a part of Be Out There. There's a reason why they call it the Great Outdoors. Learn more at beoutthere.org.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now Bree Sanders joins us with weather.
Well, Bree, the last couple days have been kind of chilly, and it was especially windy today. There were some people flying kites on the quad, and that's not something you see every day. Will these cooler temperatures stick around?
Well, we have been seeing that picture perfect weather lately, but we may have those winter temperatures coming in throughout the rest of this weekend, but I'll get more into that in just a moment. First, let's take a look at our campus snapshot. Right now on Bibb Graves, we see that the sun has fallen, and whether you're headed home from class or you're headed home from work, make sure you keep that jacket with you just to stay warm. Let's take a look at our current conditions. Right now we have cloudy skies, temperatures at 52 degrees, dew points at 43 degrees, humidity is at 69%, barometers at 29.84 inches and rising. Winds are coming in from the west, northwest from 20 to 25 miles per hour. Today's stats, we had a high today at 55. We'll have a low tonight of 27. There was no significant rain today. The sun rises at 6:45 a.m. and it should set at 5:01 p.m. Take a look at our temperatures around the state. We have Mobile coming in at 53, Huntsville at 32, Birmingham at 41, Montgomery at 48, Troy coming in at 52, Phoenix City at 55, and Dothan at 64. Let's take a look at our temperatures across the southeast. In our area, we're experiencing some mid-50-degree weather, but as we head throughout the rest of the southeast, those temperatures get a little bit warmer into the upper 50s, mid-60s. Florida even in the upper 70s, a lot warmer than what we've been looking at lately. Taking a look at our temperatures across the United States, on the west coast, we see they're experiencing some upper 50-degree temperatures, but as we head throughout the Midwest, they get a lot cooler, about 20 degrees cooler into the mid to lower 30s. Looking at our current surface map, we see we have a few high pressure systems here in the Midwest bringing in those cool temperatures, but we also have a low pressure system here bringing in that heavy to moderate rain, enough to bring in those 30-degree temperatures. Taking a closer look at our area, we see that we have a cold front that moved in earlier this morning, another reason for our cooler temperatures tonight, so you might want to keep a sturdy jacket with you just to stay warm. Our precipitation forecast for the next 48 hours. In our area, we shouldn't be experiencing any rain, but we do have parts of the Carolinas and Virginia experiencing some rain. The Northeast experiencing abundant amount of snow coming in for the next 2 days, so they should look out for that. Forecast winds for tomorrow. In our area, we should have some very strong winds coming in from about 20 to 25 miles per hour. So like I said earlier, make sure you stay bundled up, keep that scarf with you just to stay warm. For Friday, we shouldn't be experiencing any rain, but we do see that in the Northeast they will have that snow moving in through Saturday. We should have a pretty clear weekend, but we see that that snow moves out of the Southeast and clears up for them a little bit. As we close out our weekend, still no rain. The Northeast does get rid of that snow, so everyone should have a perfect weekend. As we come in through Monday, we still don't have any rain in our area, but we can see here through the Midwest, we do have those rain systems looking like they're going to head into our area through the middle of next week, so we should watch out for that. Might need an umbrella next week. Take a look at tonight's forecast. We have cloudy skies, about a 50% chance of rain, winds coming in from the west, northwest at 14 miles per hour with a low of 27, so make sure you keep that jacket with you just to stay warm. For tomorrow's forecast, we have sunny skies. We'll have clouds in the afternoon, light winds coming in from the west at 11 miles per hour with a high of 51. So it'll be a little bit warmer. Unlike today, we'll have sun out. You can go outside and enjoy the weather if you like. For our class outlook tomorrow, at about 7 a.m., it should be about 30 degrees. You can enjoy some hot cocoa if you like. At about 10, it'll get to 39. 1 p.m., it should get to 48. And 3 p.m., it should get to our highs at 49, so you can go for a walk if you like. Take a look at our 4-day forecast. For tomorrow, we have a high of 51 with a low of 28. Saturday, we have that high of 57 with a low of 32. Sunday, we have that high of 61, getting back into the 60s. It'll be a lot warmer than what we've been looking at lately. We'll have a low of 34, and Monday, we'll have a high of 64. So Judson, for today, we'll have those very cool temperatures tonight, but it looks like as we head throughout the weekend, there'll still be no rain, that picture-perfect weather, and it will get a little bit warmer as we head throughout the weekend into next week.
Well, I will definitely be looking forward to those cooler temperatures because I love wearing a jacket. All right, thanks, Bree.
You're welcome.